comparison I can make to it is the following, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. So, why does one story get more momentum than the other one? Why does the one story, blacks experiencing that versus white kids more
advances the narrative? I'll give you a recent example here in Florida. That Jacksonville racists killed those 3 black guys here in Florida. And Joe Biden made a comment, and not only did he make a comment, he said, silence in the face of hate like this is complicit. You're being complicit. About 3 months ago, Tulsa, Oklahoma, black guy gets a gun. If you are hearing this for the first time, this is my point. Black guy gets a gun, walks up to a white guy, pulls out the gun, shoots him in the back of the head and kills him. Goes to another area of Tulsa, Oklahoma, sees another white guy, pulls out the gun, shoots him in the back of the head and kills him. Admits he did it because they were white. Biden didn't say a damn thing. He didn't say a damn thing about that because it doesn't advance the agenda. And by the way, most homicide, it's same race homicide. Most whites who are killed by other whites. Most blacks who are killed by other blacks. However, every year there are a handful of black-white homicides. Out of the, say, 20,000 homicides, about 750 of them are black, white, black. 500 white people are killed by blacks, even though blacks are just 13% of the population. 250 blacks are killed by whites, even though whites are 60% of the population. So blacks are killing twice as many whites as the other way around. Most people have no idea about that stat. I'll give you another one. Forget about homicides. This is violent crime between blacks and whites other than homicide. Attempted murder, rape, assault with a weapon. Roughly 500,000 such instances every single year. 85 to 90% is a black per white victim, only 10% to 15% the other way around. Most people aren't aware of that. Now, if some white guy, white Republican said, we have an epidemic of black supremacy in America, as Biden said about white supremacy at Howard. If a white guy said that, we would probably call him a race-hustling demagogue, and he'd be denounced. But Biden can go to Howard University and tell these graduating students just a few months ago, the number one problem facing the homeland is white supremacy, and nobody says a damn thing. He is being every bit a race-hustling demagogue as Al Sharpton, but nobody said a word.
Why?
I think it's Republicans, nothing scares Republican more than a left-wing person calling him or her a racist. They run from that, which is one of the reasons I believe the Democratic Party, or the Republican Party, never really cared that much about me being on the debate stage. I say this kind of stuff makes them feel uncomfortable. Republicans are trying to reach out to black voters, and they fear if they talk about fatherlessness that black women will perceive them as being demeaned, that somehow you're undermining the hard work that black females by themselves are doing raising these kids. You're not doing anything of the kind, but I think Republicans are afraid the reaction will be the same way. If Republicans start talking about the kind of stuff racially that I'm talking about, the fact that black people kill more white people than the other way around, I think they feel that the media and the left will jump all over them. It's no fun being called an Uncle Tom. It's no fun being called the blackface of white supremacy. And for a white person to be called a racist, that's no fun either. So they'd rather not talk about it.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire...
An alarming update from the FBI. In 2021, hate crimes rose to the highest level since the government began tracking them 3 decades ago. The latest report from the FBI says more than 12,000 people were reported to have been victims, with almost 65% targeted because of their race or ethnicity, nearly 16% because of their sexual orientation, and 14% because of their religion. And while this is a fuller picture of what's going on in the nation than the initial report that falsely indicated hate crimes decreased in 2021, it's very likely these statistics are still an undercount of what's happening in our country. Joining me now, Margaret Wong, President and CEO of the Southern Poverty Law Center and SPLC Action Fund, and Brian Levin, Director of the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism at California State University at San Bernardino, which independently monitors hate crimes in cities across the country. Thank you both very much for being here. Margaret, I'll start with you. What's driving this increase in hate crime statistics?
Good morning, Jonathan. Well, we all have to look back at what happened at the beginning of 2021. The January 6th insurrection really set the tone for the year with all of its hateful rhetoric, with its calls for violence against both individuals and beliefs and ideologies. That set the tone for the entire year. And so what we've seen is this dramatic increase with all of those numbers that you've just cited, which actually translate into the highest number of hate crimes ever reported against African Americans, against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, against the community, the LGBTQ plus community. These are all record high numbers for the first time because of the tone set by former President Trump.
And Brian, your organization studies and aggregates hate crime data as well. I understand your reporting for 2021 was triple what the FBI released. Why?
Line is when you look at the top line number of 8,263 in 2020 and 10,840 the next year, that's a 31% increase, and we saw a 29% increase across the major American cities. Now, you'll have a little bit of difference because the major American cities are demographically a bit different than the rest of the country. But overall, what we showed was 224% increase in anti-Asian. In 2021, FBI showed 167%, and we have 2022 data which shows, there you go, look, anti-Black, look at that. That's a 14% increase right there. And in the mixed group for anti-LGBT, we had like a 70% increase. So our numbers and our trends in particular match what's going on. If I could just say something real quick. If you look from 2020 to 2022, we're seeing 3 consecutive years of increases. However, the 2022 increases are not across the board. They're smaller, and we're seeing a kind of bifurcation. The largest cities are hitting either modern records or the highest in decades, while going down the next couple of rungs, it's much more mixed. But we're seeing single-digit increases in the major cities for 2022, and that's on top of increases that we had in 2021 and 2020. One quick thing. We saw an inflection change in 2020 where anti-Black hate crimes have been going down since '96 as a proportion of all hate crimes. That switched, and we had the worst month ever in 2020 for anti-Black hate crimes. Guess when? During the George Floyd protests in June.